Okay, this smooth-talking British gentleman, Farrister, I believe he's British. 10 years of waiting for Star Citizen. Let's check out what you all want me to watch here. Let's check out 10. Here we go. Here we go.
The 8th of August 2024 is an important date in my relationship with Star Citizen. The date marks 10 years since first jumping on board back in 2014. Like any long-term relationship, those 10 years have been filled with ups and downs. At times, Star Citizen has provided pure wonder.
That is an understatement if I've ever heard one, man. Ups and downs for real. And corkscrews and loops. What's up, Limitless? How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen Limitless in a while. I got to push the Limitless button. Limitless. Wow. How you doing, bro? It's good to see you on stream, man. Crazy night.
Excitement and hope for the future, and at other times has been a test of patience and a lesson in frustration. But reflecting on that journey might prove interesting to some of you, and so here it is. I'm Farrister, and in most videos on this channel I try to avoid use of the word I, to try to be a little more objective and circumspect. It probably feels right that this video is an exception to that general aim. To that end, this video will be my subjective thoughts and feelings about the past decade as a Star Citizen backer, some of which you may agree with, and some of which you might not. I suppose that's the nature of subjectivity, but as always, it will be honest. So hopefully
so translation, what Farrister is saying, don't stab me with pitchforks or set me on fire with your torches. Please, please. I'm an English gentleman. Don't hurt me.
You'll join me as we turn the clock back 10 years. It's August the 8th, 2014, and having just read about Star Citizen, my mind is blown. This title,
if it were, it wouldn't be that 300 series that I hate that looks like a banana. It would be the Cool Muscle Car 300 series, not this one. Not this one that I'm looking at here that they completely ruined the 300 design.
Promises to be the greatest, the best damn space sim ever, and will be purely focused on a PC experience, meaning no compromises to mass market to consoles, offering unrivaled support for high-end graphics and custom hardware. The game will offer a living universe of possibility, all experienced from your character's unique first-person perspective. Combat, exploration. You'll even be able to group up to operate larger ships as a crew of people working together. It didn't take me long to be sold on the idea, and so my first game purchase was sat in the hangar, the Origin 325A. And it was quite literally sat in the hangar, because the first thing to download for Star Citizen was the hangar module. At this point, I have to make clear, I wasn't making any YouTube videos at this time,
I'm not a fan of
frankly,
the banana
Star
design
Citizen
on this.
was renowned for producing terrible frame rates, so much of what you'll see of this early period will just be snippets and screenshots, but hopefully they give a perspective. Walking around the hangar, seeing that little ship, climbing on the back to look around, the imagination ran wild, and that imagination of a future of infinite possibility was what first got me into Star Citizen, but is also the Achilles heel of the game for many. But we'll come to
Farrister has got that ASMR voice. He could read like a bedtime story to me, dude. And I just like drink some warm milk, eat some cookies to Farrister, and go to sleep, dude. Like, what is that you could do? Do they have him on Amazon? We can get like a one of those books, those, what do they call those audio books, man? Can he read Lord of the Rings to me? I gotta talk with Farrister and see if he can narrate Lord of the Rings.
To that soon. Back in 2014, the game is taking me days to download, and so the day after making my very first purchase, another $5 goes to the project to pay for the Arena Commander module to unlock that functionality. For those not satisfied with simply enjoying the beauty of the ship in their hangar, this relatively recently launched module back then gave players the chance to actually fly their ship in space, true 6 degrees of freedom movement, a detailed, complicated flight model. The best pilots who truly understood the gamut of fine controls of G-safeties and comms stab, of coupled and decoupled, those pilots were revered amongst the community as masters of the IFCS. For modern backers, some of that last sentence might not make sense, as one of the criticisms of the flight model changes that have happened over the years is that Star Citizen has moved much closer to being more of an aerodynamic flight model, like World War II dogfighting in space.
Listen, the flight experience still needs tons of work. I've said this numerous times, and it still needs work. Still. I'm not so opposed or against master modes as some people. Like, I know Backspace comes in here and he bitches about master modes all the time. I'm not hating on master modes that much. Like, you know, and you know, everybody's got their own flavor, their own vibe, how they want to feel the feels when they're flying, right? But still needs work, in my opinion. I've said this numerous times.
But back in 2014, flying was complicated and that was exciting to get into. So it was a wonderful experience to actually get into the hangar, explore the ship, and then start learning to fly and fight. Over the next few weeks and months, reading more about the game, chatting to people on the forums, yes, forums long before Spectrum came along, I got deeper and deeper, upgrading to a Constellation Phoenix as a fancy multi-crew ship, upgrading again to an 890 jump luxury yacht, and imagining all of the possibilities of exploring the stars with friends. I had very quickly gone from spending $80 on a starter pack to having spent hundreds on the idea of a luxury space yacht. Then came the end of November 2014 with something that really blew my mind.
Daft is like so deep. This is the thing with Farrister. Farrister could literally be saying anything right now, and you're just like, so. Daft is like so deep.
During my time reading all about the vision of Star Citizen, I'd come across the concept of the Idris, a large corvette/frigate with a big railgun at the front and a long through-deck hangar for fighter craft. A select few had purchased them already for $1,000 or more, but the idea was that this would be an end-game, raid-style content for large groups of players to man and operate. An actual capital-sized warship in...
That absolutely needs dynamic server meshing. It needs dynamic server meshing the way that we've imagined it so that it can handle large fleet battles. I really think, like, I've said this numerous times, I will be disappointed if Cloud Imperium does not get us to dynamic server meshing. But I love the fact that they're taking the time to be the pioneers and do the work. There's really nobody else doing what it is that they're doing. There's no one out there that's taking the time out to try and give us this tech, other than Ashes of Creation. But the server mesh, the Ashes of Creation, in the research that I've done, is different in the fact that it's like a collapsible and expandable grid. So the way that it is being worked at Cloud Imperium is that it's going to detect the traffic hubs and go, okay, this area, boom, we're going to give it the amount of servers it needs so that there's barely any lag or latency. That tech is what they're striving for. That is how they are being pioneers in this space. And if they accomplish it, that will be a boon for Cloud Imperium and the gaming industry. Like, if you're a gamer, you're cheering for that. Like, if you're a gamer, you want that tech. It's important that tech, it will happen eventually. You would be naive to think that it's not going to happen. Like if you think, oh, that's never going to happen, that's kind of a naive point. The tech will get there. By the way, what's up, Colombia? Thanks for that follow. What's up, Vincent? Thanks for that sub, bro. Vincent's waiting for some Dungeons and Dragons later. I gotta wrap up the Star Citizen tonight, huh? We gotta get our Dungeons and Dragons stream on soon. Listen, if you're a gamer, you should be cheering on companies that are getting involved in this tech, because it will change the entire industry. The gaming industry will forever be changed when a functioning dynamic server mesh actually happens. It'll be like mind blown.
Game. The idea of that sounded great, and I had joined an organisation to help crew one once they were eventually available in game. But at the time, the Idris model looked kinda gangly, a little bit awkward, and quite reliant on the railgun at the front. But in November, an article came up which showed a new, bigger warship designed by Dave Hobbins, the Javelin-class destroyer. This ship immediately captured my imagination. Not only did the launch document talk about how multiple people would need to work together to crew the ship, but it had a detailed deck map which talked about all of the different functions that people would fulfill. It was a ship that would kinda do a bit of everything whilst being well protected, and most importantly, the Javelin looked awesome. The visual style just captured me.
The ship designs are so fucking cool. Star Citizen has some really cool looking ships in it for real.
It does. Inevitably then, following a rocky sale experience, it sat in my hangar. So by the end of 2014, within a few short months, I'd discovered the game, played some of the early modules, and quickly become incredibly invested to concierge level. For the uninitiated, that means I spent far too much on a video game that wasn't out yet. In 2015 was more of the same. I've been reading more about engineering, the long multi-crew system design document detailing all of the things that the game would offer to large capital ship teams, and overall building up my hype levels. I became a regular subscriber to the extra content on offer. I bought a HOTAS joystick combo to really push my flight capabilities to the next level, and even went to the 2015 CitizenCon event in Manchester to hype some more in real time.
Dang, man. We're getting the full history of Farrister here with Star Citizen. Erad's very upset about that Gameology video. This is a content creator with like 2 million subscribers who did this video that was like absolute salad vibes. It was so hard to watch that video, Erad. I noticed you watched that one too, dude. Yeah. Where he's saying that there was no progress at all, and then he was using like footage from like 2014, 15 to make his case, and then he said there was murder. Like when he said even a case of murder. That shit was so clickbaity, dude. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, I can't even believe I made it as long as I did through that video. It was like 3/4 of the video on that Gameology video. I just released that highlight today, and I noticed that highlight was an hour long, and I was like, holy shit, I spent an hour of my life on that video, right? Holy shit, what a waste of my life. I apologize to everybody at the end of that video. Did you happen to get to the end of that? Oh my God. Oh my God. It was craziness. He called Ultima he called Ultima 5 Ultima V. Like, that's the point at which you go, okay, dude, what the fuck are you even talking about games for? Like, you don't know anything about games. You're calling it Ultima V. Are you fucking serious? Like, what? This guy's got 2 million subscribers, and he calls it was absurd. It was absurd. I don't even know if I mentioned that in the video when I was watching it, but I noticed that after the fact, and I'm like, what?
And that just built the hype further. Seeing Admiral Bishop give a rousing speech, seeing Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 where players were first able to spawn in Stanton, including on multi-crew ships for the first time, and then seeing the Morrow tour of an Idris, it felt like everything was coming together. I was excited for the future, and the future was almost here. Soon, trademarked. That might seem a little naive, and in hindsight it was, but at the time most of the big adverts for Star Citizen and Squadron 42 came with nice dates at the end of the video, coming soon in 2016, answer the call in 2017. With those dates coming officially from the project team, I genuinely believed this incredible game with so many features and functionality was right around the corner. It took the next year or two passing by to start to see reality come into view. 2016 and 2017 marked a steady waning of my enthusiasm for Star Citizen, mostly because ideas remained big, but tangible progress remained slow. It became clear that the recently launched PU was filled with problems. It took longer than expected to get multi-crew working properly, and deadlines kept slipping. One of the major problems with the project started to become obvious, that those big ideas of doing things that had never been done, the very thing that created so much hype, was unraveled by the technical complexity of what needed to happen. Those things had never been done for a reason. It was technically very difficult. The situation was exacerbated by the amount of extra work that was being created, the features and scope being significantly expanded through use of stretch goals, and the dreams of the boss. The extra ships being concepted and sold that needed work to actually build, all of this served to push deadlines back, before those due dates were eventually obfuscated altogether to try to abate disappointment. This led me to have a loss of confidence with the project, a falling out of love with Star Citizen.
It was around 2017. Like, for those people that think I'm a white knight, I was hated by people that, like, in 2017, I was just so livid. I was talking about the crappy frame rates. I was saying this game sucks. In 2017, I was having some serious issues with Star Citizen. People tend to forget that I've been following this for as long as I have. And I'm not just like, oh, yeah, right. And it wasn't until OCS, Object Container Streaming, hit and the tech hit where things started to improve for me gameplay wise, that I started changing my tune a little bit. And then I got hooked on looking at financials and was very vocal about the financial health of the company. And I was pounding the table about, let's see what's going on in the States. You know, so there's been plenty of times where I've been very vocally upset with Star Citizen. So let's just make that clear here, because everybody tends to think I'm this big white knight all the time. And it's not always black and white, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's interesting. It's interesting to see, like, all the comments about, like, oh, DG's this white knight, DG's a white knight, DG's a white knight. I happen to see the vision. I happen to see how big this project is. I happen to see where they want to go with it. And I'm happy the overall intentions of Chris and those that are working for Chris at Cloud Imperium are good. Think about it. They didn't have to be transparent. They didn't have to show us everything that's going on. We just talked about this in a video we were watching in the last highlight. And Salty Mike was reacting to content on the roadmap. And I made it perfectly clear that, like, they made the decision to show, to lift the hood up and show us what was going on. Is it everything? No, absolutely not. Is it something? Yes. They could have chose nothing. They could have just closed the hood and said, fuck you guys, we're not going to show you anything. So I'm kind of happy that we've got a company that decides to open up the hood at least a little bit and show us what's going on, even though the fact that they're late. We're all accustomed to the fact that they're late. We can bitch about it till we're blue in the face that they're late. But the good part of it is that they're actually showing us. That is good intentions. They're going the correct route as a professional business. They're showing you what they're doing, right? But let's be perfectly clear. I've had my moments where I was upset. Plenty. after I started seeing financial health, because I'm much more focused on like, in order for this to be completed, in order for Star Citizen to be the game that we want it to be, then the business has to be functional and it has to be financially healthy. And once I started seeing them turn the corner and declare profit, I was like, hallelujah. Once I saw revenues go boom, 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 and keep stacking up to the moon, breaking record after record after record, I was like, okay, cool. And guess what? I started being more positive. I started out super positive. But here's my history. Super positive. In fact, elated. You guys remember the feeling when you first found Star Citizen? It was like, you know, it was like this, man. It was
I'm in a fountain.
You remember? You remember that first, like that hook when you were like, oh my God, this is great, right? And then you were let down, and then you were brought back up, and then you were let down, and then you sunk to like lows and depression, and you're like, and you're frustrated. Like I had that elation period from like 2013 to 2015-ish. 2016, and content was crazy. In fact, my first Star Citizen video, the audacity that my first Star Citizen video was a review, and the only thing that was out was the hanger module. Look it up. Look it up. My first Star Citizen video, Star Citizen 1.0, was a fucking review. And I was reviewing the character model, and I was reviewing the ships. I was reviewing the hangar. I gave a total history of everything that I had researched for days. I was a Star Citizen fanatic. I still am. But back, like when I first started, I was like, I dug into everything. I got all the information I could, and I put it on a video. Nobody did that. Nobody had done that for Star Citizen ever. I was one of the first to approach the Star Citizen space. I am that OG. I think the only other person was Tactical Advance. Hello, this is Tactical Advance. The only two people that were ahead of me in line was Tactical Advance and ST Youngblood. That is the history of me and Star Citizen. It was quite literally Tactical Advance, ST Youngblood, DG360.
Yes! You're not gonna hate me! Yes!
That's what a veteran I am, because those were the only three people, me included, that were covering. And was Twerk, Board Gamer came after me, actually. Salty, yeah, who used to be Twerk, yeah. I think Salty was in there in that boat too. I think Salty came a little after me as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the three of us, and that was Board Gamer, Salty, gray-haired gamer. Yeah, yep. He was with us. That was 4. Twerk might have been. I'll say 5, maybe. But I remember the Gramps. Yeah, that's how old I am now, man. No grays there. Still looking really good though. Still looking really good. Just gotta say, I almost look a little bit younger than I did back then. Might be a vampire. Shh. Just tell anybody. Seriously though. I've been covering it that long. And then in 2016, I started getting negative. 2016, 2017. So this is a really great video. This is a really great video here because Farrister's telling us his entire history of Star Citizen, and mine's quite similar. It was about the same time Farrister got upset that I started getting upset. And it is. It's all cycles. It's all cycles. Dude, I went through the cycle. I did what I got upset with Salty Mike about back in 2017, where I would put like, this is what's wrong and that is what wrong, and I was like fucking livid, and I'm like, how the fuck dare you guys, and I did that for 2017 to 2019, 2018, somewhere thereabouts. And then once I started realizing that the business model was healthy and that they were going to make profit and that they were going the right direction, I was like, wait a second. And I had a moment, and I did a video. I did the I was wrong video, right? But I'm so all past it. I've been covering this for so long. I'm at the point now with the project where I'm past all the clickbait shit. I'm past, I'm looking at it for what it's trying to do for gaming. I'm looking at it as a whole. I'm looking at the whole project and what it wants to become. And I have a really interesting perspective, I think, as a content creator, because I've been covering it this long, where now it's like, that's why I do a lot of reacts. I call them enhancements, but that's why I do like right now, because I've made all the content I've every type of content you can imagine to Gramps for real, like I've been covering this for so long that now I want to kind of just like set the record straight. When I watch other people's content, I want people to understand the bigger picture. That is really my role now. My role for Star Citizen, obviously hold them accountable, be as rational as you can be, but look at what they're doing for the space. Look at what they're doing for gaming in terms of the tech, in terms of what it is they're trying to achieve for the game. I think that is more important. And no, that does not get the views. That does not get the clicks. And frankly, I don't care. Because I like having this perspective and this mindset, being able to be patient, being able to call out shit when I see it, being able to commend them for what they do that they deserve, that they don't get commended on. You won't hear a lot of content creators talk about the fact that they opened up the hood and are transparent and made that decision, that they had the good intentions to do that. You won't. You don't really hear that a lot, if at all. You won't hear content creators talk about, hey, guess what? If you want them to speed up and if you want this to get done faster, then you have to apply pressure and stop spending money. Would a white knight say that? Right? So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I've got this perspective on Star Citizen that spans over a decade. And I'm looking at it for the fact that, yes, there's tons of bugs. Yes, there's tons of problems. Right. Okay, we got it. But they're working on it. Things are progressing. At the end of the day, it's the only project trying to do this. There is no other. There is no second best in terms of what it is that this company, Cloud Imperium, is trying to do. There is no one else trying to do this on this level. Full stop.
I went and did other things. I used my newly acquired HOTAS to fly a lot of DCS World and largely put Star Citizen on the back burner, preferring to come back when things had finished.
Good to see you, buddy.
I felt burned out by the over-promises and under-delivery.
Yes, Chris, good to see you,
fly
Chris.
so high in excitement and hype, it was a long way to fall back down
Betty says
to
you are
reality.
kind of a white knight, DG. I'm just...
But they say that time heals all wounds. As 2018 made way to 2019, 5 years on from first discovering the idea of Star Citizen, the baby steps forward in the persistent universe started to create a more dynamic and interesting game. Cargo hauling finally came just before the end of 2017, in-game mining came along in mid-2018, and Hurston was added as a first new planet to visit at the end of 2018. ArcCorp came along in 2019, and Stanton was steadily expanding. This steady progress rekindled my interest in Star Citizen, but tempered with a little wisdom from the scars of the past. There were no shortage of bugs or missing features, but the game was becoming more playable. My focus, therefore, became more about enjoying what was playable now, with a wary eye on the future, rather than getting overly hyped. Rolling into 2020, I started...
That is the key. The expectation level, right? That is the key. That is what Farrister's saying is exactly it. That is the key. Be careful. Set the bar too high, your expectations get just blown away. Or if you're like cranky and upset or pissed off about every little thing in the bot, you gotta surf the wave, man. Seriously.
Started making some YouTube videos about the game and some of the ships therein, for which some people seemed interested in my thoughts and so playing the game to cultivate that new online community became a reason to continue. Roll forward to today, and broadly that's still my approach. I'm excited by the possibilities of the future for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, but until it's in my hands, I reserve judgment. It's a common theme of my videos that I focus on what's in-game right now, rather than the promises or beliefs of what might happen in the future, not least because many of the things that some players are convinced will happen are based on some very historic statements, and frankly, might not actually happen anymore. But by actively playing what's in our hands each and every patch, that's where I get the most value from Star Citizen.
Yes.
Back in 2014, I spent a small fortune on the idea of a game, and just like many of you, I'm still waiting for much of that idea and many of those ships. But what I'm playing right now, each and every week, I'm enjoying.
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
I feel like Farrister is at the same point I am with Star Citizen. I guess Farrister's looking at it bigger picture wise as well. I feel like Farrister and I are very similarly like looking at this project. It's like, are there problems? Yes. Are there bugs? Yes. Is it sometimes unplayable? Yes. Will I come back and play it? Yes. You know, because again, there's no second best in terms of what they're promising and what this game wants to be. There's really no other.
It's not the complete package, far from it. And it's not without bugs, there are plenty of those too. But for me, Star Citizen as it is now is a fun game to play, warts and all. Every month that I'm enjoying playing the game for what it is, I'm slowly getting more and more value for that money with no ongoing subscription or server costs. At least, not currently. So, here we are, 10 years on, and a lot has changed. I used to be a young man with a load of free time.
It's because I'm not a young man anymore, isn't it? Is it because I'm fucking getting older? Is that why? Am I getting more rational and level-headed because I'm getting older? Is that what's... Or is Farrister and I are just older men now? We've been with us 10 plus years. That's probably it. That is probably it right then and there. Father Time coming in, man, making us a little bit more old, making us a little bit more adult.
And a wild imagination. Now I'm a little older, arguably wiser, with a skeptical but cautiously hopeful eye on the future. The one thing that has been an absolute constant during the last 10 years, however, has been the people met along the way.
Yes.
I joined my organisation back in 2014 and have not looked back since, having made a number of great friends there over the years. The same is true of my more recent
Mad Style says, I'm older, lathered up in Ben Gay, smelling like old folks now. Hold on, where's the Mad Style button? Just he's still rocking it like a metalhead. He's cool. Mad Style's cool. Don't worry about that, bro. It's just lubricant. It's just lubricant.
experience making...
I hate the smell of that shit, by the way. I hope I never have to use that shit. I hope I never have to use that shit. Can't they make it smell better? What's wrong with that shit?
YouTube videos. I've been fortunate to be graced by a fantastic audience who are incredibly supportive about this passionate hobby, and also lucky to meet some of the content creators in our community who have also turned out to be some great people. It's a bit of a cliche that the people you meet along the way are...
Does it smell like menthol though, man? I used to smoke cigarettes and I'd grab a Kool every once in a while, or a Marlboro menthol light, and you know, that was menthol. You know what I'm saying, Hugh? I know you're a gentleman, bro. You get what I'm saying. Something about Ben Gay doesn't smell like, it's like got a hint of menthol, but it smells like old. Like if old had a smell, Ben Gay would definitely be the smell of old. Like every time I think about old smells, Ben Gay is like one of the first things I fucking think about. It just smells like old. You know, a hint of cabbage. Yeah. Max says with the hint of cabbage. Yeah, it's just woo. Ugh. damn, you can't do anything when somebody's got Ben Gay on and like they're around you. It's like you can't eat, you can't breathe, you can't even think. It just does something to your brain. You can't even think.
Are what make a journey great, but in this case, that happens to be true. Some of you might be thinking that this seems like an awfully rosy picture to paint for a game that has been almost...
I'm sorry, Farrister. By the way, if you're watching Farrister, I'm sorry about this discussion we're having, but it is just part of what happens on DJ360. This is what happens. So he brings up a really interesting point. He says, is the same smell as Icy Hot? No. Interestingly enough that you mentioned that, Hugh. No. Icy Hot, I can deal with. Icy Hot does not smell like old. Like Ben Gay has the patent and the trademark on smelling old. Icy Hot is missing the cabbage. I think Max would agree with that statement. There is no cabbage smell in Icy Hot. Icy Hot got the game down right. Thank you, Max. Thank you. Max agrees with me. yeah, right. Cabbage and mothballs. That's exactly what Ben Gay is with a hint of menthol. Right, Daft. He says Icy Hot is like regular menthol and Ben Gay is creamy menthol. I'm gonna vomit all. This is vomitose. I can't even have this discussion with you guys. What is wrong with all of you making me talk like this? For God's sake, what's wrong with you? I'm trying to relax and have a good time. Creamy. Get out of here with you. What is wrong with you, Pepe? Dude.
It's ready for over 10 years.
Yeah, right.
Well, I hope it doesn't come off that way. But ultimately, those of you who would say that raise a fair criticism. And I can understand how many people would simply get fed up of waiting. I think too that if I was focused on the promised end result, I'd probably feel the same way, but focusing on the here and now has helped me stay a bit more grounded. I probably ought to address that some people might accuse me of being some kind of mouthpiece for the developers at CIG, as...
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. You know, Mike made me think tonight when Mike stopped in. Like, there's a lot of things that happen to content creators where people start to project. I even told Mike at the end of the video, if he's still here, by the way, like, I don't mind talking like this because it's just who I am. But, like, I even told Mike at the end of the video that I felt like some of the content comes off like it's just, like, clickbait. Like, how, like, some of his opinions are just, like, overly kind of clickbaity. You know, and then I backed it up with the fact that, you know what? I bet a lot of people, when they click on my videos, they think it's, like, all white knight shit. Like, a lot of that shit's projected. Like, a lot of people don't know my history. I don't know so much about Mike's because his old channel was called Torque17. And I admittedly, I only watch what you guys show me to watch. And I didn't watch much of his channel back in the day. And I'm sure his opinions change back and forth a lot of times. Like, we're all humans. The thing is, him stopping in tonight made me kind of look at things a little differently in terms of like, hey, like, what are the actual intentions of content creators when they're making their content? Are they doing it? And I let Mike know, as the impression I get is that, like, I feel like, you know, that you're monetizing it, you know? And he said simply, he said, I'm just putting this in here because this is who I am and I'm saying what I feel, you know? And, like, that's the same thing I do. It's the same thing I do. And I get it. People listen to me and they go, oh, white knight. And I gotta say, like, people don't know me if that's what they think. The people that really know me and that have followed me for as long as they have know that's the biggest untruth and false narrative that there is. It's weird. It got me really thinking tonight when he stopped in like that, you know? It just got me kind of like, it's being on this side, right? Like, people can project on me all day long, song, you know, just like they do on Mike, right? At the end of the day, I'm the dude that's been following this since the beginning. And I've been through so many phases of this. And I've made all the content that you can imagine. But I'm here and I'm looking big picture at it. And I'm in a good spot. Thank you, Betty says, you endure. Yeah, I'm like, in terms of the project, I feel like I'm in one of the best perspectives ever. Like, I'm sitting back here rationally looking at a project with creators and seeing what Cloud Imperium has done over this span of 10 years and seeing the locations and the 1,000 employees and seeing that growth and being like, hey, let's look a second at the business model here and let's say it's a healthy business model. You can question the tactics. You can question all the, okay, all right. I'm just talking about the probabilities of this being a success or not are directly related to the health, to the financial health of the business. That is one of the largest factors in determining whether this game's going to make it or not. That's why I covered financial shit before anybody else was covering it. 20 timestamps, dude. 4,000 videos. If anyone wants to question, just it's in the library. And I laugh when people were like, oh, you're a white knight. I'm like, have you checked out the 4,000 fucking videos? Like, no, you haven't. So, bye-bye. Like, I have been here since the very beginning. And it's refreshing to hear Farrister's story. 4,000 videos, but a lot of people in the Dirt League. I would say I got like 400 probably. 10% of the 4,000 is Viva La Dirt League videos. So that's a pretty good chunk. Yeah. I like the fact that I'm covering more than just Star Citizen. I love Star Citizen, but I love the fact that like we've opened this up. The past 2 years since 3 years now. I don't know how long it's been. It's, I'm not really keeping track, but like I'd say like 3 years. We kind of just decided to change the format and do more, and it's been nothing but great. I love it. We bring in more people. We get to know more people. The community has almost doubled. I mean, shoot. I was like at 12,000, 11,000 subscribers at the time when I changed the format, and we've almost doubled in 3 years. It's crazy. And it's great. It opens it up for more people, and more people get to know about Star Citizen. Because there's a lot of people that got upset with me when I did. They're like, oh, you're not just doing Star Citizen. You'll never survive. You'll never make it. The YouTube algorithm will shut you down. Well, they tried to. I'm still here. And in the meantime, we doubled in size. And you know what? I can guarantee you a lot of those people at least checked out Star Citizen. That's cool. I'm glad. You know why? Because in any way that I can help the project is good for the project. I happen to like this. This is like one of the most anticipated titles out there, the most criticized, the most successfully fan-funded game, pioneering tech that frankly, if they do, will be revolutionary. Why wouldn't I follow it for this long? Right? So when I announced 3 years ago, like, I'm going to open up things and we're just going to change the format a little bit. Oh, the people that were like, only Star Citizen, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know why? Because it separated the Star Citizen only fans from the DG360 and Star Citizen fans. I'd rather have the DG360 Star Citizen fans than only the Star Citizen fans. It made us stronger, and I'm happy for it because now we got really cool people that are here for one another, not just for Star Citizen. In addition, they're here for Star Citizen, but they're also here for us to build a home, a community, and it's really wonderful. It's the coolest thing ever. It's the coolest experiment ever. I love it. I love being here. I love streaming live with you. By the way, if you're on YouTube, get over here with Everboy Live. This is the streams. It doesn't even matter what we're streaming. We all just get together, talk about things rationally, have a cool time, poke some fun at shit, laugh. It's all about chilling out and having fun here, no drama. And as a content creator or an entertainer, I have to know what I'm talking about. I have to be involved in it. And I do that with Star Citizen. I have to be involved with you. I want to be involved with you. I want to know every single one of you. Trust me, I know a lot of you here. I know personal information about everybody here, and I'm going to share it. No, I'm just teasing. Tonight. Oh, snap, Titus. Thank you, buddy.
Next time, it's gonna be black.
Diva says, thank you so much, Dinus. Diva says, don't share my social security, DG. That's okay. That's between you, I, and your employer and your parole officer. Okay. Well, oh, shit. Sorry, Diva. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to. I will sue. Well, I have about what do we make tonight? You can take that money because I'm broke. Tonight's stream is dedicated towards Diva and her lawsuit. Congratulations.
Yes, you're not gonna eat me.
I love you, Diva. Diva's been around for a long time. I love her. She's great. Carbon, what's up, Carbon? How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. This is me over in Australia not having a social security number. No. All governments love putting numbers as identifiers somehow on you, though. That's right. Pepe is DG's lawyer. I think you'll win. You are my lawyer. Not a lot of people know that about you. Not a lot of people understand that you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like my number one, actually. He's in my will. I put you in my will. I did. That's how much I love you, dude. I know. Well, don't cry, man. It's cool. Don't listen. It's okay. I know I bitch a lot, but you a lot. Okay, Pepe's crying. I gotta get going.
Many content creators are closely linked with the game developers. Well, despite my reaching out a few times, I'm not involved with any of their community.
Listen, lest there be any doubt, Pepe is very real. Hugh has seen Pepe. He will attest to that. He has seen Pepe as a real living man. He's just shy a little bit until he's doing his own thing. And he's appeared here. They can confirm. Hugh is an upstart. I keep telling you to get on camera. I want a Pepe cam, dude. Why are you fine being on camera when you're on your own? You think I bring it down? You think I'm bringing it down with this amazing bald head, you asshole? This head is where it's at. All right, he's being silly now. He's being silly with me.
Team or influencer programs or anything like that. Perhaps that's because I'm too honest sometimes, like today, about the good and the bad, or perhaps simply because I'm just a random guy making videos about a game I enjoy. It's a shame, but regardless, it means I can openly say I've had no involvement with the developers at CIG in my capacity as video guy, and so these thoughts are entirely my own. Ultimately, the most important thing I've learned is that everybody has their own relationship with this game, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. And it is for each person to decide whether they're happy with what we have, are excited by the vision.
The vision that nobody thought was going to happen, like nobody even thought it was going to get to this point. Look how beautiful this game looks, right? I know a game is more than looks. A game is mechanics, right? I get it. But just, I mean, like for a moment, just take a second to breathe all this in. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, for God's sake.
Or disappointed with the delays. All of those positions are valid to me as somebody who has been on that journey too. Yep. But for me, what we have right now is pretty good. It's far from problem free. There's still an awful lot missing, but this game
That's where Farrister and I differ. He says it's pretty good. I will give it a good. I'm coming in at a good. Farrister is at a pretty good. Pretty good. I just watched the last season of that. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. The ending was so good. I will not spoil it, but wow. Spot on ending. That ending was so good. I got my son hooked on Curb Your Enthusiasm, dude. Pretty good.
Has managed to keep me playing week in, week out for the past few years. and there aren't many games out there that could say that. So, Star Citizen, here's to the last 10 years, here's hoping I might still be playing for another 10 years to come, and I think I speak for everyone watching in saying, I really hope you're officially released before then.
And I see this, and I think dynamic server meshing and a day in which, like, all of this gets to a point where we can play it and just have the most amazing times ever. How can you not root for this as a gamer? You can be mad at them. Go ahead, be mad at them. I see a lot of indicators that show good. Talking to a financial dude, you're talking to a guy that went under the hood and looked at the financials, and I'm happy with where they're at as a business professionally that knows a lot of the tech and the game design being put into this, the mechanics that has been vocal since day one. And I can tell you through my own experience, both good and bad, that, and as a gamer, this is what I want. There is no other out there trying to do this. I keep saying this. We've got a couple people that mentioned a couple other titles we will watch tomorrow on the morning stream where they said, okay, we found some titles for you. Why don't you look up these? So we got two on the platter for tomorrow. We're going to look up and we're going to kind of see if they're trying to do what Star Citizen's going to do. I find that highly entertaining when we do that because we can all chime in and tell, you know, basically say what we think of it. So we do have, I've been saying this a lot lately. There is no second best. Show me a developer and a title that's trying to do this. And I've been saying it on purpose. The purpose is I want answers, and I'm starting to see little answers here and there. So we're going to go over them. We already went over one title that somebody thought was very close, and while we liked it, we didn't think that the scope was there. We're going to approach all these new titles with these people who have these answers rationally. We're going to be fair. We're just going to look at it for what it is and what it wants to become, and we're going to judge it. And I'm very excited for tomorrow's stream to get into that content. That I love that. I love when somebody says, here's somebody. That's cool. So if you know somebody and you're watching this right now and I'm saying there is no second best, put it down in the comments. I'm watching those comments like a hawk. And I'm getting screenshots when people get answers. So we'll go over every fucking title. That's what we do here. We don't just do Star Citizen. We're about games. We like the games. We're about everything, really. We like sketch comedy, we like everything. But we're primarily focused on games. So tell me. I want answers.
If you're new here or not yet subscribed to the channel, if you got this far, I really hope you'll consider hopping aboard. I'd love to read your thoughts or reflections on my...
Hey, this was a great video and nice to know the history. And how am I not subscribed? For God's sake. I'm going to type, this was a great look into your history with the project, my friend. Great video. It's nice. Every once in a while, Farrister stops in. I like the dude. It's cool. It's very cool that, like, content creator. I don't see that in a lot of other channels, like content creators just coming by just to say hello. It's really, I like that. I like that we're a place like that. That's cool. All right. Anyway, if you're on YouTube, like and share that. Get your butts over here to the live show. Back to our live show.